Greetings, YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at a marker. I know that seems a little strange. My wife and I are big fans of Sharpies. In fact, we have a lot of Sharpies. But if you're looking for a particular color of Sharpie, and you don't want to buy an entire set, that can be difficult to do. And when I'm at work, I like to use a purple Sharpie for writing on the labels we use at work. Now, this particular object you see here is a blank label, but it's the same material that I use at work. It's why I brought it with me. Sometimes they end up with a few at the end of a run where they don't print, or they're just too few for them to run through their printing machine. So I often snag those and I bring them home. They make great shipping labels for myself because you can print out your name and things and just slap it on the box. It's quite convenient. But I wanted to show the same material so you can see how it works on the substance that I am using it to write on a daily basis. Because we have to put down, each label has a quantity somewhere on it, usually around here, and then it will have a part number somewhere in usually the lower third. And we have to denote that we have the correct quantity and correct number. So what I do is I just go thook, thook, and leave a check mark. Now I don't have to be purple. Purple's just my favorite color. But if you want to buy a specific unusual color in a Sharpie, such as this, buying an individual marker is not as cheap as getting one in a set. And I was looking to buy an entire box of one color, and I did find one person that was selling them very reasonable. It was like $7 for a box of, I think, 10 of these. And I'm like, okay, that's a pretty decent price. And then they wanted $13 for shipping. So no, that's not a good price. So I kept looking, and I eventually stumbled upon the Writon brand, which obviously is designed to be a clone of the Sharpie. So let's get the Sharpie, and I will... So we see how it works. Now the tip on this, you're going to note that right away, is a little bit different than the tip on the Writon. The Writon is a little broader and a little longer, and it's just a smidge softer. The Sharpie has a more firm material, but it leaves a slightly wider mark than the Writon. The Writon, however, really dries very quickly, whereas the Sharpie... Now it's going to make me a liar. Yeah, the Sharpie can smudge ever so slightly a little easier than the Writon. So I don't know what the chemical difference is between these two, but this one does seem to dry slightly faster than a Sharpie does. But because the tip is longer and broader and it's a little softer, I do make an effort to use the minimum amount of pressure, when I'm writing with this thing. I don't want to push too much. I don't want to bend it. I don't want to make it too broad. Whereas though you can do it to a Sharpie if you aren't careful. Also, this is brand new. I have seen that it doesn't take a long time for a Sharpie to end up not being quite so precise. But the Writons do an excellent job. They were less expensive. Make sure I get the right cap. Yeah, that's the right cap. They were less expensive than the Sharpies when it came to doing a box of 12. So now I have a bag of 12. They came in a bag. So now I have a bag of 12 of these, and I am currently using one at work. And the rest are my backups. I don't know how long they will store because it's going to take me a bit to go through an entire box or entire bag of these markers, because I'm using them at work every day, but I probably only write, a dozen check marks a day. So how long does it take a marker to be used up? A dozen times a day. And will the last marker that I bought in that package still be good when I get around to it? That I can't answer. But they are nice quality. They do write well. You do have to be a little more gentle because they aren't quite as firm as the Sharpies are. But the price difference was enough to make it worth my time. A box of 12 Sharpies or 10 or whatever it was going to cost me more than I wanted to spend. The Writons were less expensive. I'm just using them at work. I'm not doing art with these. If you're doing art, you're probably going to want to stick with whatever marker you're comfortable with, or whatever you have learned on. So maybe you don't want to try the Writons. Maybe you do. I'm not sure. But But I'm happy with them, and I thought I would pass that on to other people who might be looking for an alternative to a Sharpie that has a very similar vibe, similar application, similar operation, and it could save them some money. So there you go. If you need a bunch of single colors, maybe you want to look at something outside the Sharpie brand and give the Writon a try.